Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bean Turtle, and today I want to talk about the A-10 and specifically how to survive as an A-10 player. So if you are new to War Thunder and you just picked up your shiny new $30 pack like I did on a sale, or $60 pack of your rank 10 A-10, it's kind of overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie, when you first get into those jet lobbies. If you have little or no experience, or maybe you have some prop plane experience, it's a very different battlefield to exist in. One thing is you are the slowest, you're the slowest, you are capable of taking down enemy jets, but it's hard. You are a target because you're in the back of the pack and people can fly over you and that kind of thing. You might not even see the guy who killed you. But here's also what you can do with the A-10. I have 17 million SL that I have earned through my A-10. I have 1.76 million research points. I researched everything in the tech tree starting at about here. Actually, not kidding when I say that. All of this, every single one of these planes with my A-10, grinded all the way up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which you need 5 for rank 7, so I could get my F-16. Alright, so I spent hours getting better at using the A-10, getting shot down, wanting to commit bad things because of this vehicle, but also there are other sides to that. There were games where I would get 200,000 SL in a single game. It is possible. You just farm ground targets, get the occasional missile kill, maybe even if you're lucky, a nose gun kill, and you can just keep going. And alternatively, as I said, I also unlocked this with my A-10, with my premium A-10. This other A-10 is the same way. Maybe you're an experienced player who's gotten through all this stuff, you've played through, and you played with the A4 or like the Harrier or whatever to unlock it, and you're used to normal jets. Well, funny thing, I've not flown this A10, but its stats are almost identical to my A10 quote early, which I don't think an A10 early really existed, but it's just a reason to give you only one set of AIM-9Ls instead of the Tech Tree version's 2 sets of AIM-9Ls, except when you first unlock it, that is. With that sole exception aside, they're effectively the same vehicle. This one might have a stronger engine when you fully spade it. They're about the same, so you're going to be slower than the Harriers. You're going to be slower than the F5s by a lot. You're going to be slower than the Crusaders. You are going to be outrun by the MiG-21S. You are going to be hunted by Su-22s, you're going to be hunted by this thing, wherever that is. Su-25s are faster, you get the point. So you're going to be the underdog. Every single time you use this plane, you are the underdog, you're the target for most people. You might even be the target of your teammates because it's a premium plane. I actually, part of why I changed my camo, even though I actually really like this camouflage, and I unlocked it for being, getting a lot of ground target kills. Actually, no, 640 player kills, which is just kind of crazy that I did that, in my opinion. But this is the default camouflage, right? Actually, I really like it, with the exception, of course, of my decals that I added in. Good old Dollar Plays decal. But with the exception of the decals I added, this is the default skin, and sometimes your teammates will just kill you. It's infuriating. You'll have teammates that'll ram you, fly up to right next to your wing and like clip you, sometimes it's joking, sometimes they're being malicious. I, in fact, had one time where a guy flew right up to my wing and started to kind of ram me, but like sitting on my wing, if that makes sense. He tried to kill me and damage my plane, so I flipped it and threw him into the ground because I was angry at that point. But I didn't get a team kill because I didn't damage him. But whatever. Don't team kill. And don't be the guy that rams people. But people will just kill you, alright? You gotta... That's the mentality here is somewhat between it is what it is and not apathy, but you've got to be prepared to stop yourself from slamming your fist through your monitor. You've got to be willing to die 441 times for this one. All right. Now, once you get the hang of the A-10, however, it is not a defenseless vehicle by no means. 364 kills, these are not AI. Those are mostly player kills. For instance, right here, is especially if the other player doesn't see it, you could just get free kills pretty much. Your missiles will connect. You'll be surprised as to how effective the AIM 9Ls are. I'm actually very surprised that the A-10 is given these at this BR, because most of the other missiles at 10.0 are not as good as the AIM 9Ls. But here you go, right here. I just pretty much get, a free kill with the missile, and I burnt him down. So there you go. Boom. 2 kills right there. Now, I was lucky. I had the high ground, etc. But you're not defenseless at all. And I went on to get like one of those crazy high SL games. Other things, countermeasures. I recommend, even though I don't see radar missiles as often as I see them at like 11.0 or in 12.0, but I recommend with the A-10 putting your flares on flare priority. So it's the way the A-10 does, it has like an absurdly high number of countermeasures. But what happens is it's like it'll fire 8 flares and 4 chaff or 2 chaff. Every time I flare, I usually flip on and off my periodic countermeasures. I have, and by default, countermeasures are, I think, by default for PC players, bound to the N key. If you need to, you can just sit there and spam the N key until the missile misses. You have them help the missile miss, if that makes sense. But I usually use periodic countermeasure release, which every second will release a set of countermeasures, so you don't have to think about it as much. What you do is you start dodging, and you take like a hard turn or something, and you hit the countermeasure button. It'll every second there will be a pulse of countermeasures behind you. And since the A-10 has so many of them, you can pretty much just do that with impunity. In fact, at one point, hilariously enough, I turned on that because I need to go check on something in my house. I turned on the periodic countermeasure release, walked away from my computer, and came back, and I still had like several hundred flares left. And I was gone for like a good 2 or 3 minutes with the plane in the air. So you can do a lot of cool things with that. But with that, what do you want to use? So I have discovered my favorite setup, because it's fun. I mean, it's not necessarily the most efficient way to do it, but it is the most fun, in my opinion, way to play with the A-10. And we're talking about ground realistics here, or air realistics. Sorry, ground is a completely different animal for the A-10, but air realistic battles. This loadout right here, and I have this huge number of loadouts that I've custom made all of these, and then here are a bunch of presets you get. But I custom made this one in particular, but I have an AIM 9L in both slots, which I think you should do for every single loadout, unless you're going for an all bombs loadout. A 500 here, a 500 here, 4 2,000 pounders, and I'll explain why later. And I like carrying the 6 AGMs. AGMs are air to ground missiles. Really fun. You lock onto a target from the air, a ground target or an air target. It is fire and forget. So the second the missile, you get this little red box on the target. You fire it. You press the button again. For me, it's spacebar, and the missile within a few kilometers. It says launch range 23 kilometers. No, the launch range is like 5. They just randomly blow up any farther away than 5 kilometers. Lock onto the target and fire it within about 5 kilometers, and they're fire and forget. You just kind of fly away, and the missile should hit your target. Should. They're not perfect. So the reason I'm carrying all of these bombs to go away from the AGMs is because you are going to be targeting bases. Your existence as an A-10 is essentially a ground pounder, as its actual role in real life. Your job is to destroy ground targets. That's where you get your money. That's how you get paid. You get so much SL. If you look, 2,677 ground targets killed. You kill, you get paid. What you do is, and bases are worth like 20,000 SL for me. Okay, so each base I kill with the A-10 is worth like 20k SL. What you do is the drop order: 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what you do, that's what I do, that's kind of janky. That is just why the AGMs are probably not the best idea if you're going for full efficiency with bombs. Full efficiency, get rid of the 500, add like a Hydra or something for extra stuff, or leave it blank, and then have 6 2,000 pounders to destroy exactly 2 bases. But exactly 2 bases, 1, 2, 3, 4. So when you hit the button 4 times, bomb 1, bomb 2, bomb 3, bomb 4. And then what you do with the second base, bomb 1, bomb 2, and then you lock an AGM. What you can do is you look at the base, aim at the base, holding the spacebar or the button for your AGMs. And I like to flick to the sight, the internal thermal sight, which will force lock it. And then what you kind of do is you dive on the base to fire the missile because sometimes it doesn't like to hit it because it's not an actual ground target. It's like you're forcing the missile to lock the base, lock the ground more accurately. So once you lock that and you fire your AGM to take out the base, it will not kill the base, but it'll do enough damage to let it tick damage over time tick to kill it. All right, to demonstrate this, let's act like this building over here that appears black is the base. So what you're going to do is switch to that view, hold the lock button. It is locked. Dive on it, press the button, drop your other two 2,000 pounders, and then pull up. Now, be very careful. I actually missed there, but if you splash the base by a little bit, of course this is not, this is the training area, but if you splash the base a little bit with your AGM, or if you miss, you can always just pull around for another pass, like this, and kaboom, that one should connect, and it did. And so what it'll do is it'll not kill the base, and then it'll tick down because you did just enough damage for it to tick down and finally die to give you the full reward for damaging the base. Now, be very careful, and I'm going to demonstrate why. You should not just go willy-nilly with these AGMs. If you, other than just killing yourself in the ground, fire one too close, boom, I killed myself with the AGM. And the reason for that is, for some reason, different from the bombs, the bombs have a very compact explosion, if that makes any sense whatsoever, when it comes to fragmentation. So that's what destroys planes, is the fragmentation, whereas the AGMs do not. And it's something to do with, beyond, of course, the fuse timer. There is I do have a fuse timer set for my plane. I can't show you in the training ground, but I have a 1.5 second fuse set so you can fly away from the bomb and not take damage. However, I have been very close to 2,000 pound bombs and not taking damage, whereas the AGMs took my wing off like that. So just be aware of that and don't be too close to your AGM when you lock it like that. You get, if you look at it this way, 2 air targets that you might kill. All right. If you even get 1, you have paid your full repair cost plus a lot SL. 2 bases plus AGMs for ground targets and air targets. Now, mind you, these are not useless against air targets. All right. So one of the last 2 things I want to mention to y'all, and here we are at that opening clip again, where we got that MiG-21 that comes down to dive on me. So some tips on how to kind of survive these engagements is actually not to try to run away. You're way too slow for that. That MiG-21, after he deals with this F-4C, I am the next target, and he does actually take me down. But an idea on how to potentially survive these kinds of dogfights is actually to dogfight them. And I know that sounds weird. You're in a slower vehicle. You've got so much weight on your plane. You're not necessarily able to pull your nose around when they can, right? But what has kept me alive a surprising amount in these kinds of fights is by dodging, like I just did right there. Just a simple roll can throw off their aim. Is very hard to aim jets sometimes, and right there he took me down in a fair fight. GG's to him. He actually he and I were messaging each other after because it was kind of funny. He took out like one of my flaps, and I just kind of fell out of the sky. But he won that fight. But just diving into targets instead of running away from them can actually not only net you kills that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise, but potentially keep you alive for longer. That's with a plane like the A-10 that's so easy to take down. That is very important. Other than that, last tips I would say, the only problem that I really have with this plane is that the flight model is really broken. This is where the joke of Russian bias comes in, where like the Su-25, which I intend to purchase because it looks really fun, but on sale. But the Su-25 will take a series of missiles and be fine. it has a super weird damage model to where, even though there is actually armor here, I didn't know that. But you hit the Su-25 sometimes with one missile and it just insta kill it, just like any other plane or close to it. There is a chance you don't die, but still, right? But the Su-25 I've seen survive 3 missiles, like AIM-9Ls and that kind of thing. Whereas the A-10, and this is where we go back to that it is what it is mindset you have to get used to, or have to get ready for anyway if you're going to play with this a lot. One of these 2 flaps, so not even the whole tail fin, all right? So this is the vertical stabilizer, this is the like the aileron, I think, but vertical stabilizers. Either of these stabilizers get shot off by someone, you just fall straight down. There's nothing you can do. You just fall out of the sky. And I have no idea why. That's just the way it is. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing else on your plane is damaged. Either of these pieces of the tail come off, and the plane just falls out of the sky. The thing about this that is that these are supposed to control whether the plane goes up or down, right? That's what those are. That's what those fins are for. However, missing this fin is not just going to make the plane take a solid nosedive. It's just kind of weird, right? I know that the A-10 is not the most stable thing. It's not built to that. It's built to be slow and devastating, not stable necessarily, right? However, this is not supposed to happen. Well, with that, everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope that this is helpful and lets you get more kills. I hope that after you hear the good old a good bit, you'll feel a bit more American, as I sure do. If you like this video, everyone, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you don't, your AIM-9Ls will miss your target, unlike this one. That poor MiG-15 had no idea it was coming, and there he goes, down into the sea. Have a nice day. You know, maybe they shouldn't have put a live pilot, you know, in, probably shouldn't have put a live pilot in a test dummy, but that's just me. I should look at that. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and please be sure to like and subscribe if you did, and have a nice day. See ya. Did you angle today?